Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Sam, and today I'm looking at this guy. This is a PSA Dagger full-size lower, so basically a Glock 19. On top, a conversion for a 22 long rifle from Advantage Arms, which has the threaded barrel, so I can use an Echo Core Topo 22 suppressor. On top, I have the Gideon Omega. That's this guy. And you can see the stats right there. It's a green dot, it's 3 MOA. And it's kind of like your SRO style. Let's get into the video. Let me show you what makes this pretty cool. So let's see how it runs with the different magazines. I put about 150 rounds through this already today, so it is a little dirty. Keep that in mind. So this is a great test of reliability. Let's see. Didn't look good. Oh, maybe. Oh, got a failure. It is a failure to feed. Shooting 250 to 300 rounds for this whole session, I had 3 failure to feed. It seems most likely that the rim was out of spec, and as the rim slides up into the bolt face, the extractor did not clear the rim. And this results in the bullet being stuck at an angle not in line with the bore and getting that failure to feed. Meaning that the failures I saw today were most likely related to ammo and not the gun. But of course, either is possible. Taking a closer look at this conversion kit and the available magazines, the 10 round that is included has a nice light spring and is very reliable. The 15 round I'm finding just as reliable with a slightly stronger spring. Now the 25 round has a very strong spring. Expect that to have problems if you have bad ammo. The barrel is all stainless steel and appears to be well made. The threads are cut nicely, it has a square shoulder, and I've had no issues with getting the suppressor to align correctly. The crown on the barrel is cut kind of at a steep angle, not the 11 degree you see on some target barrels, but I've noticed no issues in accuracy. Expect groups right around the 2-inch area at 100 feet with average ammo. If you shoot better ammo, better groups. I'm hitting the 4-inch target at 100 feet pretty much every time offhand. While not a review of the PSA Dagger lower, I find the trigger to have a nice crisp reset, and for the most part, it's an okay trigger. Don't expect it to compete with anything from your target pistols, but overall it has not impacted my ability to shoot this firearm accurately. Looking into the issue of reliability, there are some videos that are fairly compelling that argue that this is not a reliable conversion. I would argue that it is, if you set it up correctly. Let's go ahead and try this with different optic weights on the slide, with and without a suppressor, and see how it functions. Now this is a little ridiculous, but you can see that there is a Picatinny rail on top with the adapter and the red dot, adding quite a bit of extra weight to the slide. Failure to feed. Failure to feed. The total weight of the Optic on the gun when it failed was 89 grams. I just realized that this is a real way to test back pressure on these 22 cans. So let's go ahead and try the AB Little Bird now. And again, with the heaviest optic setup that I have. Oh, failure to feed. This can has a reputation for high back pressure. Let's see how it performs. B&T Tiger TI. Seems to be high back pressure, more so than the AB Little Bird and the Echo Core Topo. Just a quick observation from shooting different weights on top of the slide here. There seems to be a point where reliability drops off. Now when these eject straight out to the side, whether they go here or way further, that's the most reliable. If it starts to come out a little bit forward right here, so whether it's just dropping off right there or dropping off here, that's where the reliability issue happens. That's when you will get your failure to feed because it will not go back far enough to pick up the next round. And that seems to be where the reliability issues are coming from. Now, to be really clear, this is not a problem necessarily with the springs or parts being lubricated or polished. This is an inertia problem. Now, inside the slide, you can see there's some lightning cuts. On the top here, where it says 0326, that is scalloped out. Also on the side, there's another cut there, and on this side as well, to keep it balanced, you can see there are 3 lightning cuts made to the front of the slide to remove material. While the suppressors did vary a little bit in back pressure, they were all very similar. Essentially, when it comes to the reliability of the Advantage Arms kit, it has to do with the slide mass. In other words, if you're having problems, your sight might just be too heavy and you might have to run open sight. Or you need to add a suppressor to increase back pressure. Essentially, there are 3 ways to set up this gun. One is just to run it with nothing, just bare open sights and shoot the heck out of it. Number 2 is to add a suppressor and shoot at open sights. And number 3, which is my favorite, add a suppressor and a reflex sight. The final weight of the Optics package. The mounting plate here, which is titanium, and the 2 screws, comes to 15 grams. And then when we add the Optic with battery and screws, the total weight is now 65 grams. And just for the heck of it, the reciprocating mass of this slide with the Optic is 190 grams. All right, let's go to 90 feet. Small one. And now 100 feet. Now the small one. Nice. Boy, this gun sure is fun. If you're just kind of wondering into my thought process, like why would I build a 22 conversion off of a Glock frame, add a red dot and a suppressor, take a look at the other 322 pistols I have in my collection. Now, when I was a kid, I had a really cool great aunt, Aunt Violet. She gave me a pistol when I was like, I think I was like 12. But anyway, and that was the Ruger Mark II Target. Fantastic pistol. And I absolutely love that thing. Then from there, my dad got me a revolver. So you can see a lot of traditional firearms in the family. So super cool. And then another gift my dad got me when I came up here, became a pharmacist, had kids about that time, he gave me a 1911. And recently I put that 22 conversion on that gun. Threaded it for the suppressor. Super fun to shoot. So realistically, what's left? Clearly a polymer frame 22, and that's where I went. Now I know the Taurus TX 22 is all the rage right now, and by all accounts, it's an excellent firearm, I might still get one of those. But I really wanted this conversion just because of the way it is. I just like it. But anyway, so there you go. I have a Target 22, a revolver, an open-sighted 1911 with a suppressor, and now a polymer frame with a red dot and suppressor. So I kind of have all my bases covered. And that's really what I shoot here. I don't have neighbors very close by. I do have a wife. So if I can keep it quiet, and if I can keep it affordable, it really benefits me. And also the kids. They actually shoot this pretty well, and so does my wife. So this might be a new favorite. Anyway, guys, as always, I really appreciate you. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more about those 4 guns, or maybe if you want me to do a video on them, you want to know more about it, just drop a comment. I'll take a look into doing that. But for now, hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, until next time. Hey! I forgot a hammer. Oh man. Doesn't impale us, which it shouldn't, because it's kind of off to the side a little. Oh, a fire pit. Hang on. Ow. I don't know who put that there. That hurt. Anyway, hang on. That's better.